Becky, are we good? All right. Well, I will officially call to order the Brevard City Council regular meeting of Monday, November 3rd. I want to welcome everybody that has joined us here in person, as well as everybody that is watching this on the live stream. It is always great to see the public come. And tonight, we've got some of our young public joining us for part of the meeting. And so that's really exciting. And I want to say a special thank you to all of you guys. All right. I want to start by introducing everybody that is sitting up here. On my far right, we have our city attorney, Mac McKellar. Next to Mac, we have Councilman Lauren Wise. Next to Lauren, we have Councilwoman Pamela Holder. Next to Pamela, we have Councilman Mac Morrow. I'm Mayor Maureen Kopoloff. On my immediate left is our city clerk, Denise Hodgson. Next to Denise is Mayor Pro Tem and Councilman Gary Daniel. Next to Gary is Councilman Aaron Baker. And next to Aaron is our city manager, Wilson Hooper. And we are very pleased this evening to have Reverend Bob Rengillian, I hope I said that right, Bob, from the United Universalists of Transylvania County, who is joining us to give the invocation.
Spirit of love and life, we ask for wisdom and support through the decisions before us, and to remember the wide-ranging diversity of this community as we strive to love our neighbors and love you. Help us be centered in this moment to engage in meaningful discussion. May we respect differences, resist divisiveness, and may our good work nurture the bonds of community. We pray for the leaders and public servants here represented, for their health, for their strength through the storms of circumstance which may be arising in their lives. This is a season of thanksgiving. We give thanks to those who step up to serve their neighbors, for their own and their loved ones' sacrifices, so that their dedication to the wider good might be a blessing. We give thanks in the names of all the helpers of humankind, known and unknown, remembered and forgotten, and we pray each in our own ways and say, Amen, blessed be.
Amen, blessed be.
Thank you, Reverend Bob. Could you tell us a little bit about the UUTC?
I'd be happy to. The Unitarian Universalist Congregation, or as the mayor said, our abbreviated UUTC, is located on South Broad Street, downhill from the library. In the parking, our parking lot entrance is around the back on Varsity Street. We have nearly 200 people from the city and county on our rolls, with some who travel further on Sunday for worship, or who watch us on YouTube online. If they're traveling or if they're homebound, especially. Our mission is to support individual spiritual journeys and promote social, economic, and environmental justice. And we open our building to meditation groups. We sponsor a grief group and caregiver support group. We work with community organizations, partner with the Rainbow Alliance, and support ecumenical service projects in the community such as Sharing House, Bread of Life, The Haven, and annual events such as the recent Power Up dinner jointly with the St. Philip's Episcopal Church and the Brevard Jewish community. We've been a host location for community events, including the Interfaith Service of Thanks each year on the Tuesday evening before Thanksgiving, and all of you are invited to that. The annual Pride Picnic in June, the Brevard Jewish Community Lecture Series sometimes holds its events at our location, and we offer youth programming open to any family regardless of religious background. Thanks for inviting me here today.
Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for everything that the UUTC does for our community. You are such an important part of it, and I will just tell you guys that interfaith service before Thanksgiving is really a great thing to attend, so I hope to see some of you at that. So thank you. If everyone would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention. honor, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, do we have a quorum?
Yes, Madam Mayor, you do have a quorum. All members are present.
Council, you have the draft agenda that was sent out. I would like to ask that council adds resolution number 2025-68, a resolution renaming the Depot Railroad Avenue Park as the first item under G, under certificates and awards. Are there any other proposed modifications to the agenda? Do I have a motion to approve the amended
So moved.
agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Council, you have the draft minutes of the October 20th, 2025 regular meeting. Are there any changes or corrections to the minutes? Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is approved. All right, we are going to move on to our certificates, awards, and recognition. And we have a couple of really wonderful things tonight. Our first resolution is a very special resolution. And I'm going to ask all of Jimmy Harris's family that has joined us here today to please join me up here. We have his sister, Sue Robinson. We have his son, Cooper. If I get this wrong, guys, you correct me. I'm going to get all mixed up with all these names. And, okay, Joe. Okay, wonderful. Then we have Jimmy's daughter, Cassie, her husband, Luke, and that's Eichenberg. And we have Jimmy's ex-wife, Carrie. Did I get all that right? All right, I want all the things to come up here. Get on the side here. I'm going to read this resolution. And there we go. Perfect. This is just perfect. There we go, everybody. You know, Jimmy was our mayor for 22 years. He is the longest serving mayor that we have had in the history of the city of Brevard. And he retired as mayor in 2021, the end of 2021. And, you know, we recognized him when he left, but we never really put anything permanent in place that would really honor those decades of service that Jimmy gave to this city. Now, I've been mayor for 4 years. I cannot imagine being mayor for 22 years because, I mean, it takes a lot, and you always are there. For 2 decades, Jimmy was there every holiday, every special event. He was there leading us through, I mean, think back 20 years. So it is important to recognize that type of service to the community. And so I am very pleased that council has decided to, and I'm going to read this. Okay, this is resolution number 2025 TAC 68. A resolution renaming Depot Railroad Avenue Park to Jimmy Harris Railroad Depot Park to honor the former mayor, Jimmy Harris. Whereas Jimmy Harris was first elected mayor of the city of Brevard in 1999 and was subsequently re-elected 7 times. Pretty amazing. Whereas Mayor Harris retired in 2021, having served 22 consecutive years, the longest mayoral tenure in the city's history. Whereas, as mayor, his tangible accomplishments were significant and numerous. They are commemorated in resolution number 2021 TAC 57, a resolution of respect and appreciation for Mayor Jimmy Harris, unanimously approved by Brevard City Council on December 15th of 2021. Whereas his leadership extended beyond tangible accomplishments, Mayor Harris led with vision and community concern, working tirelessly to build a city that offered a high quality of life to all who chose to live there. And whereas in 2022, Mayor Harris was inducted into the Order of the Longleaf Pine by Governor Roy Cooper as an acknowledgement of his long and faithful service to the people of Brevard, North Carolina. Whereas in 2025, Mayor Maureen Koploff and the Brevard City Council wish to further recognize and honor Mayor Harris's service to Brevard. Whereas during his mayoral tenure, Mayor Harris championed the creation of Depot Railroad Avenue Park to revitalize an underutilized city-owned parcel, to commemorate the city's history, to create a gathering place for residents in this area of town, and to provide amenities for the Estito and Acosta trails. Whereas Mayor Harris led the community effort to fund, design, and construct the facility which opened in 2021. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Brevard, 1. Depot Railroad Avenue Park is hereby renamed Jimmy Harris Railroad Depot Park in honor of former Mayor Jimmy Harris. 2. Mayor Koploff and Brevard City Council hereby commend this honor's observance to all residents of Brevard. And 3. Staff are instructed to update the name on physical signage, official documents, and other media. Signed and approved this 3rd day of November by all elected officials in the city of Brevard. So, let's get a picture of everybody. Okay. Cooper, do you want to hold that?
That's great.
I think that'd be nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks, Cooper.
Yeah. Would any of the family like to say anything? Would you like
Oh,
to say
yes.
Sue will
I'm
talk.
Sue. I'm Jimmy's older sister. If you've ever been in the hardware store, he would tell you about he had an older sister, me. He'd say I was 15 years older. That was a lie. I was just 2 years older. But he loved being mayor, and he loved Brevard, and still does. This is our home. This is where he raised his family. This is where we grew up as teenagers, and he considered being mayor an adventure. His time in life has changed from being an adventure to a journey. The journey's pretty tough right now, so, you know, many of you probably know that. He has people in this room that have been supporters of his for a number of years. Carrie was his probably #1 supporter, because when he got in the position of mayor, she would hear that phone ring at 10:30. People were mad because the prices of gas went up in Ingalls, and that was his fault. And they didn't have enough loaves of bread at Bilo's. That was his fault too. You know, you get those
Everything's
crazy
the mayor's
calls.
fault.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Mac Mara, who's been a very long time friend and has stood by Jimmy's side through his progression in life, and I will not end it without a special thank you to Dr. Benton, who is with Jimmy all the way, and we appreciate that.
Thank you, Sue. And
Absolutely.
we certainly appreciate Jimmy, and he's in our hearts, and his name will be on that wonderful building that he helped build that is such an important part of our community and is enjoyed by so many people, and will be enjoyed by even more when the Acosta Trail opens.
Yep.
Yeah, so a special day. So please convey this respect and honor back to Jimmy from all of us. And
He was very touched, and wanted to be here, but
yeah,
couldn't.
couldn't. Yeah. Well, thank you all for coming. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right, we have another proclamation, and this is about Veterans Day. And I'm actually going to ask those members who are sitting on the dais that are veterans to come down here and join us. Didn't know I was going to make you do this.
I'll make your little surprises.
All right, and I am happy to announce that we have 3 of our 6 military services represented here. We have the U.S. Army, right? You were in for several years.
Several years, 3 years.
Yeah, U.S. Army. We have U.S. Marine Corps, and we have U.S. Navy.
You Navy as well,
Navy, yes, and so the Navy is twice represented.
because
As
it's
it
twice
should
as
be.
good. I mean,
Gauntlet's thrown.
now.
We all know, we have additional services that are not represented here. We do have the U.S. Air Force, but of course we're recognizing the Air Force, the U.S. Coast Guard, and the newest service, which is the U.S. Space Force. So anyways, but we're very pleased to have representatives from our veterans here. And this is Proclamation 2025-28, commemorating Veterans Day, November 11th, 2025. Whereas the freedoms we enjoy as Americans have been purchased and maintained at a high price throughout our history. And whereas since the establishment of the original 13 states, Americans have been willing to fight and die to preserve their individual rights as guaranteed in the United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Whereas we owe a great debt to those who have served in defense of this nation, as throughout the generations, their sacrifices have preserved our unique form of government dedicated to human rights and respect for the individual. And whereas, for many, that sacrifice had ended in permanent injury or death, yet their spirit remains in the continued preservation of our freedoms and the promise of liberty established as an example for all the oppressed persons of the world. Whereas we honor these dedicated men and women, we pledge our continued defense of our nation so that their sacrifice will stand before the entire world as a tribute to the spirit and determination of people dedicated to the principles of freedom and democracy. Now therefore, I, Maureen Kopoloff, Mayor of the City of Brevard, North Carolina, call upon our citizens to salute all Brevard and Transylvania County veterans who have served with honor and distinction, and to observe this day with appropriate ceremonies in honor of our veterans, both living and deceased, who have served this country so willingly to preserve the principles of justice, freedom, and democracy, to fly the flag, and to show our veterans we appreciate their great sacrifice. And of course, our community celebration of Veterans Day will be on November 11th, the 11th day of the 11th month, and it will be at 11 o'clock in the morning, and it will be in front of our courthouse. And I encourage everybody to come. We have a wonderful ceremony where we recognize and we talk about what it means to really serve our country. So please join all of us for our Community Veterans Day. We also will be lighting up City Hall in green. Right, guys? Tonight? You starting the green tonight? Wesley? Yeah? Okay. Green lights. Okay, just checking. They have 1 week in November. It's called Operation Green Light, and it's done all over the country. And people are asked to put green lights out on public buildings, on individual homes. And again, this is to really recognize and tribute to all the people that have served our country in the armed forces. And so we will have the green lights on our building for the next week. So, and of course, this very, very, very special year. This is the 250th birthday year of our country, and it's the 250th birthday of the Marine Corps and the Navy. I think the Marines are having a big celebration the day before on November 10th, if I remember right.
We've already had our 250th, we're old.
I know. Yeah. Is the Army 250?
Not yet.
Not yet? All right.
Not a race.
Just wanted to make sure everybody knew that it was, and yeah, our services have been in place for as long as our country, and are an important part of our country and our freedom. So, with that, everybody, please remember Veterans Day, and please recognize our veterans, not just on Veterans Day, but all the time. Thank you, guys.
Wait, whoa.
You look very martial, but like,
Oh.
come together.
Very much.
Isn't that the point?
Yeah, but you're just so far away. Brilliant.
All right. All right, and we are now going to move on to the next wonderful event tonight. And our city clerk is going to administer the oath of office to Chase Owen, our new fire chief. And we are so excited.
So, Becky, how would you like us to? You good? Yes. You could repeat after me. You good, Becky? I, Chase Owen,
I, Chase Owen,
do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and laws of the United States,
and laws of the United States,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
and I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina
to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
which are or may be established
which are or may be established
for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend. I will endeavor.
that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend
The Constitution and laws of said state,
the Constitution and laws of said state,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
and that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as fire chief for the city of Brevard, North Carolina.
as fire chief of the city of Brevard, North Carolina.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Great, and then
mistake, but that was the exciting part.
Oh, sorry. I'm still here. That way you guys get the seal in the back. Professional.
Thank you all very much. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a tough one. That oath is tough, Chase. It is a tough one.
All right, we are going to move on to public comments. The public is invited to speak during public comment at this time on any topic unless it is a public hearing item on this agenda. Anyone who wants to speak must register with the city clerk, which is what the sign-up sheet is. When it is your turn, step to the podium in front of city council, state your name and address clearly, limit comments to 3 minutes or less, and avoid repetition. I will give you a warning when you have 30 seconds left. Direct comments to the full council, not to an individual council member or to staff. And our first speaker is Mr. Rodney Locks.
Good afternoon. My name is Rodney Locks. I live at 187 South Rice Street. Just want to remind everybody, tomorrow is Election Day, and thank you for your service, especially Mac, who is now about to go on vacation. And thank you for the many, many, many years of service that you have dedicated to
Thank you.
the city of Brevard. Also wanted to say I saw the sign at the creek, the culvert. Also note, I can't talk about the thing that's on the agenda, the four-way stop, but I hope you're still testing the water so that it's still safe for kids to jump into the creek. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Locks. All right, that is everybody that signed up for public comment. So we will move on to our public hearings. Our first public hearing is the proposed amendments to the City of Brevard Code of Ordinances, Chapter 1 and 38, restriction on hemp-derived consumable products. And I believe our city manager will present this.
Yes, ma'am. I will make some technical comments, if you will, and then I'll throw to the committee chair to explain why this proposal's coming before you. So this item is the required public hearing, as you said, Mayor, for changes to the Code of Ordinance. And the changes in question today would add a layer of local regulation to the sale and distribution of hemp-derived consumable products at certain locations in town. And Emily has pulled up the definitions and a little bit later the regulations in question on the screen here in blue. Specifically, it would add the definition of hemp-derived consumable product, seller, and other relevant terms to Chapter 1 of the code, and then it will add a new article to Chapter 38, which she's got there on the screen, the Health and Sanitation chapter, appropriately titled Restrictions on Hemp-Derived Consumable Products, the details of which are on the screen and I'll cover in a minute. This matter stemmed from a recommendation by the Public Safety Committee to use the tools we have at our disposal as a municipality to try and counter the growing trend of hemp use among youth. Now, because municipalities aren't typically where public health matters like this live, the committee and your initial strategy was to support legislation at the state level to combat the increase in hemp use among youth by raising the cap, raising the age to purchase hemp products and some other things. But it didn't pass, so now it's the COM's opinion that we must take more active approach. So regulating this type of thing is a tricky space to be in because by and large this kind of regulation falls under the auspices of the state itself and maybe county government where public health governance lies. And the limited particulars of this proposal reflect that. Recent changes to zoning law at the state level prevent us from reducing the number of permissible uses in a zoning category. So that means we can't use the zoning powers to limit the number of shops. And case law and general statute preclude us from banning the sale of hemp or otherwise inhibiting a legal activity. So, all we can do is set certain conditions under which the activity can take place. And even then, there must be a clear and rational connection between the conditions we set and the problem at hand. In this case, as I said, the problem is an increase in hemp use amongst youth and all the corresponding implications that has on public resources and community health. And the rational connection is that the conditions we're setting out to influence are only applicable to shops that are near where kids are, schools, after-school facilities, and parks. And so, as you can see on the screen there, our rules would levy an escalating civil penalty against anyone who's caught knowingly selling or distributing hemp products to anyone under the age of 21 within 2,000 feet of schools, after-school facilities, and parks. It would also make attempting to purchase such products by someone under 21 using a fake ID or otherwise prohibited at the shops that fall within that radius. These restrictions will be enforced by Brevard Police Department using similar methods that the state ALE office uses to enforce the drinking age at bars and such. If this passes, the city will notify shops that are subject to the new rule and send them the appropriate text to post at their registers and on their shop windows. And Mac and I are here to answer any questions that you have about the particulars of this ordinance, but I'd like to throw to Councilmember Baker to talk about the Public Safety Committee's rationale for making these recommended updates to the code.
Yeah, thanks. We discussed this for several months at the committee level, and really struggled with the fact that, as Wilson said, the regulation of these products is really the purview of the state of North Carolina, and learned a lot from our friends with the CARE Coalition and some others that stopped by to give us some information. And the striking thing to me is that some of these products are so new that they have no rules at all, which means that you don't even have to card someone if they're under the age of 18. And so that seems like an incredibly dangerous situation that we felt like we needed to act. I'll admit that I would be more comfortable if our state was doing their jobs a little better and the state legislature were acting on this. But I think given the situation that we find ourselves in, we have come up with a good solution here to at least keep our children safe and come up with some common sense regulations that the city can administer easily. And we will reevaluate, as the state hopefully catches up with the city of Brevard.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. All right, this is a public hearing, so I am going to officially open. Oh, do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The public hearing is officially open. Okay, I was going to read all the rules, but nobody signed up to speak during the public hearing, so we will just move on, and I will have council officially close the public hearing. Do I have a motion to close?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing is closed. We will open it for questions or comments from council, and we will start with Mr. Wise.
The only question I have, and Wilson, you had touched on it, was, or maybe you're a better candidate, the legal challenges we might face with this.
I feel like we're legally, this is about as solid a ground as we can have. We are not banning the sale of products in the city. We're not restricting opening of new stores. In other words, we're not doing something that's an outright ban. All we're simply doing is, this is establishing a common sense, don't sell to anyone under 21, which is already essentially it is a rule that most of the reputable shops, I believe, have in place voluntarily already. That shouldn't be a problem. The idea would be to keep use of these hemp-based products out of the schools. And I feel like it's pretty defensible. There are a few other jurisdictions, Hendersonville for one, that has similar regulations, and it's not a criminal penalty. Therefore, it's a civil penalty, which is squarely within what a city can do within the city limits. So I feel there's been a lot of back and forth at the committee level. There was a lot of hammering what can be done, what can't be done, and I feel like this is a very defensible position legally. So I'm comfortable recommending it to you.
That's all I have.
Ms. Holder?
Lauren took my question. I too wanted to make sure that the age restriction is there and we can do it legally. My other question would be, is there protocol for the number of hemp stores that can be opened? In other words, can we have 5 McDonald's?
Yes.
Can we have 5 hemp stores?
Yes, we can have.
And there's no restriction on
No,
the
ma'am.
distance of where they could be? Okay,
No, ma'am.
all right.
There is none, and I don't believe under the current zoning regulation scheme that we can even do that if we wanted to pass that
Right, right.
as a regulation. I don't believe that can be done because that would likely be considered a downzoning action and be subject to a challenge. So that's kind of another issue from a different direction from the General Assembly that restricts what we can do.
Okay.
Anything else, Ms. Holder?
No, thank you, I'm sorry.
Mr. Morrow?
Thank you.
I agree with everything Aaron said, and I also wanted to express to our attorney, Mac McKellar, how good he was in using to educate us and use the template, if you will, of Hendersonville, and so we all got educated at the same time. Thank you, Mac.
Mr. Daniel?
I just have a question. Are cigarettes regulated in this way? I think they are, aren't they? Or not?
Yes.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer.
That's one of the oddities in the law right now, is that cigarettes are regulated in this way, but hemp-based products are not.
Mr. Baker?
Yeah, I'll just add, since I can maybe editorialize, since I'm not in charge of introducing the item, this is really should be seen as a failure of the state legislature to do their jobs. As was said, we have plenty of regulations on tobacco products. We have, I work in an industry, the alcohol business, that's heavily regulated. And state legislators may give us some sob story about how they're a part-time legislature and, they're not full-time. But they're pretty quick to get back into session and pass rules to gerrymander our state or consolidate political power or do all kinds of other political games. But something like this, they can't seem to move fast enough to protect our kids. So that's quite a shame, but I'm glad we're stepping up, and I hope we can maybe revisit this once the state moves a little faster.
All right, there is no action on this item tonight. It will come back for a vote at our next meeting. All right, we are moving on to our second public hearing which is the proposed update to the City of Brevard traffic schedule, Section 6672, four-way stop at Mills Avenue, Hillview Avenue, and Hillview Street.
Yes, ma'am. In front of you is a ordinance for your consideration if you choose to take action on this item tonight, since it's pretty simple in my opinion, but if you'd just like to hold the public hearing and delay, that's fine too. But Mayor and Council, this recommendation to add a four-way stop at the intersection on the screen stems from both public input, but also staff's own observation about the safety of this intersection. I can't remember whether the Public Safety Committee has formally endorsed this, but they have certainly given it a head nod. And so I'm bringing it to you, even if a formal recommendation hasn't been made. So staff is recommending that a four-way stop be installed here. When Mills Avenue is open, the speed and volume of traffic at this intersection, while not super high, are enough to justify this four-way stop when you factor in the presence of several significant pedestrian-generating uses, such as the park, the parking lot, and the Mary C. Jenkins Community Center close by, not to mention a fairly dense neighborhood where lots of people walk. And the intersection itself, as you can see on the screen there, the geometry is slightly wonky. And so for all those reasons, it makes sense to have a stop there that clarifies the right-of-way and provides a little bit of certainty for pedestrians and others that are walking in that area. This was one of the topics that was discussed at staff's late September traffic calming meeting at Mary C. Jenkins, and there were no strong objections to it. And so I ask that you hold the required public hearing and also consider taking action on this matter tonight.
Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing is now open. No one signed up to speak on this public hearing item. So council, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We will open it up for questions and comments. We'll start with Mr. Daniel.
I have no questions on this.
Mr. Baker.
I'm just going to steal this opportunity to ask about the culvert a little bit more. I know we're all working hard on that, and I know that there are a lot of things that are outside of our control with FEMA and other things. But as I was riding by it for the 100th time this week, I was thinking about how we've got some heavy equipment out there that's working on the creek. And it's just not a great sight for the neighborhood to see massive heavy equipment being able to use a road that, the neighborhood can't use. And I know that, there are certainly liability issues at play here. But I really want to impress upon us that we need to find a temporary solution there. I know we've been talking about maybe those steel plates. Mary Sue Jenkins is a polling place tomorrow. So, there are important things that center is, a pillar of the community there, and access is certainly not what it should be. So, I don't know if there's any update on a potential temporary solution.
Yes, sir. We are pursuing the steel plate solution. I'll ask David to step up and correct me if I say anything wrong. What we're trying to get before us before we execute that solution is a stamped plan from the engineer who's designing the placement of the steel plates. Now, you wouldn't think placing steel plates would require an engineer, but it does, because you need to make sure that they have sufficient support on either side. You need to make sure that the plates themselves are weighty enough to support the weight of traffic, and we want an engineer to stamp that for us so that this solution can be insured by our insurer. And so we are working to collect those two things, and once we have those in hand, we'll execute that temporary solution. Did I say it right, David? Okay.
Okay. Well, I know people are working hard on it, and I just wanted to impress upon everybody how important it is to keep working quickly on that. That's all I have.
Okay, back to the four-way stop issue, Mr. Morrow.
Thanks for reminding.
I'm all good, thank you.
Yes. Ms. Holder?
I'm all good. I certainly support Aaron's point, but I'm going to stay on task, and I think it's a good idea.
Mr. Wise?
Yeah, I agree. I've noticed this, I've been down there before and was always wondering why we didn't have stop signs, so this is good.
Okay. Council, do you want to take action on this tonight? If so, I need a motion to approve the ordinance amending the City of Brevard Code of Ordinances, number 2025, TAC 54.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, any additional discussion? And I think we're ready to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, we are on consent and information. The following items are on the consent agenda. 1, property tax releases of October 2025. 2, finance report of September 30th, 2025. 3, proclamation 2025, TAC 27, National Native American Heritage Month. 4, Council Public Safety Committee minutes, August 26, 2025. 5, Rosenwald Community Advisory Board minutes, September 18th of 25. 6, Council Public Safety Committee minutes, September 23rd of 25. 7, correspondence, the ABC Board minutes of September 25th, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda is approved. Moving on to unfinished business. Our first item is the ordinance, the voluntary contiguous annexation, City of Brevard, Cashers Valley Road, PIN number 8585, TAC 19, TAC 5389. And Mr. Paul Ray, our planning director, will present.
Thank you. This item is a contiguous annexation for a portion of city-owned property at 490 Cashers Valley Road, adjacent to Public Works Facility. Council held a public hearing on this at their October 20th meeting. The total property is approximately 1.1 acres, is currently vacant and partially inside city limits. This annexation would bring the entire parcel in the city. Council previously declared this parcel surplus and authorized its sale, with proceeds supporting affordable housing initiatives. The planning board reviewed this annexation request in its August meeting and recommended approval. There are no immediate fiscal impacts, though future development would generate additional property tax and utility revenue. Council may approve or deny this annexation ordinance tonight.
Okay, Council, do I have a motion regarding the ordinance to extend the corporate limits of the City of Brevard, North Carolina, as described?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we'll open for discussion. Mr. Morrow?
I agree with the planning board.
Mr. Wise?
No comment?
Ms. Holder?
No comment.
Mr. Daniel?
No comment.
Mr. Baker?
I have no comments.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to our second item of unfinished business, the proposed amendment to the official zoning map of the City of Brevard, city-owned parcel on Cashers Valley Road, PIN 8585 19 53 89. And
Thank
that's
you.
Mr. Ray again.
This next item is a city-initiated rezoning of the same city-owned parcel on Cashers Valley Road, adjacent to the Public Works Facility. This rezoning accompanies the annexation just discussed. Council held a public hearing on this at their October 20th meeting. The property is currently split zoned, as you can see on the zoning map. I'll click on the parcel and make it more clear. It's split zoned, partially general residential 8 and partially general residential 4. And the proposal is to rezone the entire parcel either general residential 8 or neighborhood mixed use. The intent is to upzone the property to make it more marketable before sale, with the proceeds supporting affordable housing initiatives. The planning board reviewed this on August 26th and recommended rezoning to neighborhood mixed use, noting its consistency with the adjacent zoning and future land use map, which identifies the activity center as minor character area. There are, of course, trade-offs to each option, with the most notable being that NMX complies with a future land use map and has a higher density allowance of 15 units per acre, as opposed to only general residential 8, which is 8 units per acre. But single-family homes are not allowed in NMX, only duplex and multifamily development and some commercial. Council may approve the rezoning as advertised, which was NMX, or consider a more restrictive zoning district to general residential, or take another listed action in their packet.
Okay. Council, do I have a motion regarding this request?
I'll make a motion that we grant the zoning map amendment as advertised, neighborhood mixed use.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second?
Okay, we'll open for discussion. Mr. Baker?
Seems consistent with the surrounding properties and the comprehensive land use plan.
Okay, Mr. Daniel?
I have no comment.
Mr. Morrow?
No comments.
Ms. Holder?
No comment.
Mr. Wise?
No comment.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, moving on to our third item. Proposed amendments to the City of Brevard Unified Development Ordinance to make various minor changes. And we have Emily Brewer, our senior planner, presenting.
Ma'am. This is a staff-initiated text amendment to make a number of smaller revisions to the Unified Development Ordinance that don't necessitate an individual text amendment. We wanted to group them all together for you. I went through them in detail at the last meeting, but I am happy to answer any follow-up questions. But the planning board reviewed the proposed amendments at their meeting on September 23rd of 2025 and recommended in favor of its adoption. Though these aren't explicitly mentioned in the city's comprehensive land use plan, we are charged as staff with continuing to improve the city's UDO, which includes LUH 19, Enhanced Communication of Land Use Planning Efforts, Policy Development, Approvals, and Processes. Therefore, these changes are consistent with the comprehensive land use plan. Staff requests that council take one of the following actions regarding this proposal. Adopt the amendments as written, adopt the amendments as revised by you, reject the amendments, or send it back to planning board for further study and consideration.
Okay. Council, do I have a motion regarding this proposed amendment?
I move we accept the proposed amendment as presented.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we'll open it for discussion. Mr. Daniel?
I see nothing here that would be alarming to anyone, and I appreciate the effort to simplify and clarify our ordinance. So, thank you.
Mr. Baker?
Yeah, thanks to staff and planning board.
Okay. Mr. Wise?
Thanks to staff for doing this. I don't understand how, but thank you, and to the planning board as well.
Ms. Holder?
A lot of work has gone into this over the last few months. Thank you.
Ditto.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, on to number 4, the proposed amendment to the official zoning map of the City of Brevard, 5 parcels at the intersection of Pisgah Drive and Medical Park Drive. And Mr. Ray is presenting.
Thank you. This item is a rezoning request from First Victory for 5 properties in the Pisgah Drive neighborhood adjacent to Transylvania County Regional Hospital. The properties are currently part of the hospital's conditional zoning district, and the request is to remove them from that district and rezone them to general residential 8. Council held a public hearing on this matter at its October 20th meeting. The rezoning would allow the parcels to be developed consistent with the surrounding Pisgah Drive and Temple Church Road neighborhood, most of which is already zoned general residential 8. The future land use map designates this area as traditional neighborhood, which aligns with the proposed zoning. The planning board reviewed this request at their September 23rd meeting and recommended approval. Council may approve, modify, or deny the rezoning request tonight.
All right, council, do I have a motion regarding the rezoning request?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Open for discussion, Mr. Morrow.
Agree with the planning board.
Okay. Ms. Holder?
Correct me, I don't know, I'm just asking. Is this the same area that we talked about before? The same situation?
2 weeks ago, it is.
A few months back, and the area that, we had some concerns about rezoning that area. Am I thinking about the same place?
I don't think so.
Okay,
No.
all right. You may have said it already, but rezone to what?
General residential 8.
Okay, yeah.
Any more questions, Ms. Holder?
No. No.
All right, Mr. Morrow?
I'm good, yeah.
You good? All right, I've lost track of, did I miss anybody?
Yeah, Lauren.
All right, Lauren? okay.
No comment.
Okay, did I get everyone now? Somehow I just totally lost track. All
I
right,
think you went that way.
We haven't gone this way, but I don't have any comment.
all right, okay, all right.
And I would just say it's probably the most logical thing we'll do in some time. It just makes sense.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And that is the end of unfinished business, and we have no new business. And we are going to move on to remarks. And we will start with Mr. Morrow.
Oh, well, thank you. For the record, I read in the Thursday paper another diatribe against the city and its lack of doing anything for infrastructure. So in order to set what I think is the record straight, can I borrow this just a second? I left in front of you a sort of a laundry list of what we have done in investment and what we've been doing for the last 10 or so years. And I want to appreciate, I reached out to Dean Luby, our finance director, and what you're reading here are words from other folks, but Dean, I really appreciate you looking at it. And I wanted to quote you, Dean, but in here, what I said, according to our finance director, the city has spent over $28 million in the last 10 years or so and has the debt to prove it. And this is in addition to the over $15 million in water and sewer funding since 2020. And I would say that for a town our size, I would believe we would compare well above average in public utility upgrades. The 2018 award being statewide recognition, and as the 2015 assessment and subsequent projects to date affirm, our commitment to our environment and responsibilities as a river city should be better appreciated, period. The listing in our budget year, we know this, but that in our budget reflects this commitment with $2,739,625 for water and sewer fund interest and payments. That is something. I wanted, and on this list, I think one quote that I wanted to read is in the 2018 award. Let's see, did I, shoot. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's the under 2017, the city received the 2018 Engineering Award by the American Council of Engineering of North Carolina for the Neely Road Water Improvement Project. Quote, "This project exemplifies how small towns like Brevard can overcome overwhelming problems with aging wastewater infrastructure through a strategic approach that maximizes the use of limited resources. CDM Smith and the city began with a flow study and hydraulic model evaluation to diagnose the system's performance. This led to a coordinated program of sewer condition assessment and improved maintenance and implementation of more than 2,600 feet of sewer rehab, a new 7 million gallon a day pump station, approximately 13,000 feet of 20-inch force main, and a 3.2 million gallon equalization tank, all which is funded through the state revolving fund loans, unquote. You can see a listing of significant improvements, and for the record, and in my summary, I like what our auditor said last year about our commitment to our infrastructure. Quote, "Brevard is a small town with big city investments. It does not get any better than this," unquote. So as chairman of the Public Works Committee, I've witnessed firsthand the amazing work of the staff and consultants who brought low-interest loans and grants to the betterment of Brevard. This list highlights only those projects I've had the privilege of making a small part, so it's not there's some other things. In fact, if you can think of something, let me know and I'll make it better. But for those who attempt to make political points that we should do more, perhaps, but we are a city based on nonpartisan policy, where policy rules the day. Operating an enterprise fund like our water and sewer fund must always have the 4,000 users in mind, for the projects being considered must be suitable, feasible, and acceptable, because they are the ratepayers. Respectfully submitted. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Morrow. Ms. Holder.
Was that your last will and testament? No? It was your last will and testament, wasn't it?
I've got what?
I'm just sitting here thinking about the days that are becoming, that's numbered, that we'll be sitting together.
That's right, yeah.
I will miss you.
One more.
One more. All right. Vote, 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 and take someone with you to vote. If you haven't voted already, please vote. And make sure that you do that on tomorrow. And that's all I have.
Mr. Wise?
I will second the vote, 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 and vote tomorrow. And not, I'm sure you're going to hear it from a lot of us. A couple of people I think are maybe running, I'm not sure who. But this is, in my opinion, the most important day of the year and the most important one to celebrate. And to celebrate, you can go vote. It is a privilege we have that many people in the world don't have. And I would love to see every registered voter in Brevard come out, because no matter what side of the fence you're on, this is your voice. So please go out and vote. Mac, thank you for putting that together. I'm going to miss you on that public committee, but I'm going to call you just about every day.
Well, the reason I did it for the
Yeah.
committee, I started for the committee, even as a
Yeah.
when I leave.
But I will say, in the op-ed in the paper by Herschel Johnson, I can say in the past 2 years that I've been co-chair of Public Works, I've never seen him attend a meeting. We do have some people come regularly, and they ask great questions, and they applaud the efforts we've made. And so that's a open meeting. Anyone can attend. We would welcome anyone. But I would say, if you have an opinion about things, educate yourself and don't say ignorant things for political reasons. We are in a small community. We don't need that. We are working hard. Our staff is working hard. We're working hard for all the people here. So come talk to us if you have a problem, if you're really concerned. Because I don't really believe Mr. Johnson was worried about infrastructure. I think he probably had some political reasons. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Wise. Mr. Daniel?
I don't need to repeat what everyone else has already said, so I will just support what has been said.
Mr. Baker?
Couple things. Yeah, I want to first welcome Chief Owen. It's great to welcome him on board to the city, and looking forward to welcoming another chief of police here pretty soon. Although, Jack, we appreciate your filling in for us, but excited to get those two positions permanently filled here pretty soon. I do have a couple of questions for staff. First, I think the county has wrapped up their housing study, and we're very close to wrapping it up. And I wondered if we should engage with the county on that study in terms of presenting it to us, and we can certainly welcome them to the Housing Committee if they'd like to join that before they come to council. But I think in the spirit of both boards working on housing, it would be great to hear about that from them.
Yes, sir.
And then following closely on that is, I wondered if we have an update on what our planned next steps are for the Azalea Avenue project and when the county might revisit that grant money.
So I sent the recommendation of the Housing Committee to the county manager so that she can share it with the county commissioners to see if they've got an appetite for that. And I'm waiting to hear feedback from her. If the feedback's positive, then I'll bring it to council. If it's not, then I'll take it back to the drawing board at the Housing Committee. But with that said, I have discussed with Jamie the MOU that would govern the relationship for the design dollars between us. And I think, in my opinion, that's pretty much ready to be signed. The one sort of clarification that I need to make with her and that we're still working on is it sounds like that in exchange for their contribution to not only the Azalea Avenue project, but also to the Habitat and HAC projects, that the county wants to be the entity that solicits and selects the firms that are going to do this construction or this engineering in conjunction with the county. That's fine with me. But I want to make sure that that is okay with Habitat and HAC before we agree to that, because we would essentially be taking ownership of parts of their project. I think Habitat will be okay with that because the utility extension is going to go under existing roads, and so it makes sense that it would be a government project. But the utility extension for the HAC project is going to be on property that's not yet a road. And so, as a matter of fact, we are meeting with HAC tomorrow or Wednesday? Wednesday, to learn more about that project and to make sure that they are okay with delegating that responsibility to us and the county to manage jointly. And to give us the most up-to-date information on their project so that when we go out and solicit a contractor to perform that work, that they'll be putting the pipes in the right place.
Okay, thank you. And yes, please, if you haven't already early voted, please take the time to vote tomorrow. I think we have a chance to maybe break the turnout record. We're far ahead in terms of early voting than we've ever been, and so depending on how many people vote tomorrow, we could potentially break that record, which is fantastic. Two more things. It's been a while since I've had a sports update during this thing, so I'm going to do it real quick. Brevard High football, undefeated. They have a bye in the playoffs. They're going to play in a couple weeks. Brevard High soccer won their conference championships. I should say the football team won their conference championship as well. The soccer team also has a bye in the playoffs. They'll be playing in a couple weeks. And then the Brevard College women's soccer team, if you're not on board with what's going on with the women's soccer team at Brevard College, they have not lost a game yet. They are in their conference tournament currently, and then when they win that, I'll say, they'll be on to the NCAA tournament. So an undefeated season is pretty amazing at any level, so congratulations to them, and hopefully they keep it going. That's all I got.
Mr. Attorney.
Nothing to add. Councilman Baker stole my, I just wanted, I was just thinking on Friday night, I was sitting at the house passing out candy and hearing the football game going on and thinking about how incredible that is. 1999 was the last time there was an undefeated team at Brevard High School at the end of the regular season. So it's pretty amazing to see that. So I hope in 2 weeks we get a full house over at the stadium. That'd be amazing. And, you know, tonight you named the depot after Jimmy Harris. I don't know how many years he called football games on the radio. WSQL, voice of the Blue Devils. So, anyway, just a little flashback time. So, thank you for teeing that up, Councilman Baker.
Madam Clerk,
I'm good, thank you.
Mr. Manager.
Councilman Baker, I looked at the playoff bracket today, and I noticed that if things go well, before the end of the month, Brevard High School might be playing my alma mater, Lexington Senior High School Yellow Jackets. And so if that comes to pass, I'm going to be conflicted, I'm afraid to say. I also want to say some words about the election tomorrow, particularly to extend my thanks to all the candidates. Mayor Kopoloff, Mr. Weiner, Councilmember Baker, Mr. Harbin, Mr. Lytle, and Mr. Miller. It takes guts to stand for election, and it takes guts to serve if you're elected. And so I just want all those folks to know that I appreciate them getting into the arena and volunteering to serve and accept such a tough job. So thanks to all 6 of you. And like Councilman Baker, I also want to welcome Chief Owen to our team. I look forward to having him. Not only does he have a great resume, but I'm just struck by his sort of mature approach to leadership. And so I think he's going to be one heck of a fire chief for us. Welcome, Chase.
And I will just echo what others have said. You know, it's always wonderful to be able to recognize people, and it was very special for us tonight to be able to recognize Mayor Harris, who really did serve an incredible number of years as the mayor. I had the pleasure of serving with him for 4 years. I know Mr. Morrow served with him for 22 years. And, you know, that type of dedication to a community is just amazing. But it's also great to welcome new people on board. So, you know, as we recognize Jimmy for everything he did, to recognize our Chief Owen, our new fire chief on board, and to meet his family and to welcome him as a member of our team. Because it's all about people. That's really what it is all about in terms of running this city, in terms of all the services that we provide, all of the incredible work that is done, whether or not we are updating the UDO and getting it up to speed, putting in new regulations to protect our children from the hemp products, or working on the infrastructure, which, you know, has been an ongoing challenge and something that we have dedicated so much money and time to over the last decade. And I just want to say that that is what makes serving in the public as an elected official such a great thing, is because we are able to do things for the community. And it's about our community, our people, our families, and having to make those decisions as to how we support this community in the best way possible. So I encourage you all, again, vote. Municipal elections are so important, and we tend to have about 33% of the people in the voters in the city actually vote. I think those were about the last 2 elections. So let's break that. Let's get that number way up there. So if you haven't voted, please get out, please vote. It is very, very important. And with that, again, just remind everybody about Veterans Day. That's another type of service. And I want to make sure that our veterans really are recognized. We are so fortunate to have so many veterans here in this community. Please take time to thank them for everything that they have given to our country. When I served in the Navy, I know one of the things that struck me when I was often deployed and not home to be able to vote and having to vote absentee, which I did every single election, I never missed a single one, but to see all of the different places that we deployed to, the different countries that we went to support, and the fact that so many people there did not have the right to vote. So don't ever take it for granted. It is such an important fundamental right, and it is something that so many of our shipmates have given their lives fighting for. So please exercise that right. So, With that, I think I need a motion to go into closed session for personnel or employment. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, please secure the broadcast and please clear